Earlier this week, I was lucky enough to jump on the Junkyard Pod with Tony Pesta, and part of our conversation was about Evan Mobley's shot diet and how Darius Garland's driving ability opens things up for this Cleveland Cavaliers offense. So today, I wanted to dive in a little bit more on the Cavs' shot tendencies so far through about 11 games of the season before the second unit decided to go down and just beat up on Miami. And in doing this, I'm looking a lot at how it compares to last year when they had the best offense in basketball. So before we get started, please help me get 1 inch closer to my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the Christmas Day game by clicking that subscribe button. First, let's take a quick look at the shot charts from this year so far and last year. And on the surface, it doesn't look that different. So why are we going to look any closer? Well, a common cliche that you hear in football is that it's a game of inches. I would argue that that's even more literal in basketball. The court is 1,128 inches long. The three-point line is 264 inches to the corners out to 285 inches at the top of the arc. The free throw line is 180 inches from the basket. The hoop is 120 inches up off the ground. The rim diameter is 18 inches and the ball diameter is roughly 9.5 inches. And ask Kevin Durant how much difference an inch can make. So the proverbial devil is in the details, and in this case, the devil is the little bastard trying to stand between the Cavs and the best version of themselves, between them and title contention. So to get rid of that damn little devil, we're going to concentrate most of our attention in two key areas of the floor. And if you've watched NBA basketball in the past 5 to 10 years, you should know what two areas those are going to be: the three-point line and the rim. They're the two most efficient areas of the court for NBA offenses, and they are where we're seeing the biggest shift for the Cavs compared to last season. Let's start at the rim. Last year, 39% of their shots came at the rim. This year, that's down to 35%. And on those shots, last year, they shot over 62%, which was above league average. This year, they're shooting 59%, which is below league average. Similarly, last year the Cavs averaged over 51 points per game in the paint, which was 9th in the NBA. This year, they're scoring fewer than 45 points in the paint, which is just 26th in the league. They are grabbing over 13 offensive rebounds per game, which is 8th in the league, but that's only resulting in 4.5 putback attempts, which is bottom 10. And they have only a 58% effective field goal percentage on those putbacks, which is also in the bottom half of the league. Some of this is going to be from long rebounds because they're shooting so many threes, which we'll get to in a second. But if you have Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, you hope to convert more of your offensive rebounds into easy points. So what does this mean? It's pretty simple. If one of the best forms of offense is to get as close as possible to the orange hoop so you can take the easiest shot possible, the Cavs need to do more of that. So now let's go the other way, moving farther away from the basket, and look at the three ball. The Cavs have led the NBA in three-point attempts at 47 per game. Joe Mazzulla would be so proud. Last year, they took a lot, but they were 4th in the NBA at 42.5 a night. And one big difference is that last year, they made them. They were 2nd in accuracy, making over 38%. And this year, they're middle of the pack, making 36%. And the additional threes that they're taking are coming from above the break, which in each of the 3 above the break zones, they account for a larger share of their shot attempts than they did compared to last year. However, they're actually getting less of their shots coming from the corners than they did last year. So they're not getting a lot of what might be the most efficient shot in NBA basketball, an open corner three. Now, 32 of their threes have been coming off of catch and shoot opportunities, which is 68% of those three-point attempts. And last year, this was only 27.5 at 65%. However, they're still only shooting 36% on their catch and shoot threes. Last year, they were able to can 39% of them. So what do all these nerd numbers mean? The Cavs' success last year as a top three-point shooting team was their combination of volume and accuracy. And with just about any statistical analysis that you do, the more volume goes up, efficiency tends to come down. But the problem for the Cavs is that they're chucking a bit too much and their accuracy is suffering a bit too much. So, what can they actually do about this? Well, for starters, they need to get downhill more. Last year, they were sixth in the league in drives per game at 51.2 per night. This year, that's all the way down to 41, which is the fourth fewest in basketball. And they actually shoot almost 48% on drives, which is 13th in the league. So you would love to see them do that more. And last year, they led the league in pick and roll possessions at 24 and a half. This year, that's down to 20. Getting in the pick and roll, driving to the hoop, this opens up looks at the rim and kickouts for open threes. When they generate the open looks, they need to make those shots. Yeah, that's high level analysis right there, baby. But they're absolutely capable of it, which we have seen. So it's not time to panic. The sky is not falling. You might actually be surprised to hear that they're actually cutting more this year. They're running fewer isolations this year, even though it doesn't feel like it. They're getting out in transition more. They have more catch and shoot opportunities than they did last year. So the offense is not really as stagnant as it seems to the naked eye. And if they could just put some more pressure on the rim, and they could certainly use the pick and roll as a way to get there, I think it's going to open up more of those higher percentage looks, more kickouts to the corner for open threes there, and more finishing attempts on alley-oops at the rim. What do you want to see from the Cavs offense as the season continues to progress? Let me know in the comments and like this video, subscribe to the channel to help me get to my goal. And if you love basketball, watch this next.